Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing Insecure Season 4, Episode 4, Lowkey, Losing It. And you know what guys, I was freaking losing my mind watching this episode. Oh my gosh, like what could go wrong, right? It just seemed like there was little fireworks in every little relationship in this series, in this episode, right? Man, I've been on my seat, like on the edge of my seat, waiting for this freaking episode to view. I was hoping that they were gonna have the little neighborhood. Issa was gonna have her little neighborhood block party during this episode, because I have a feeling that's gonna be when all hell hits the fan, right? All hell hits the fan. I just know that's when things are gonna go bad. And we sit here and watch this episode, and yet they freaking linger and drag us on to another episode, right? So gosh, Lee, we have to sit back and wait. Sit back and wait our freaking turn, right? But it's coming, guys. It is coming, and I am here for it. I am here for it. Yeah, so this episode starts off with Issa. She get her rap on as usual, talking about she got schoolboy, but she really don't got schoolboy. He not gonna be there. He not gonna be there. And all of a sudden you hear, right? At the door. Right? At the door. She looking like, who is knocking on my door like this? I don't know about you guys, but when people get to knocking on my door, first of all, don't come knocking when you haven't even been invited. Don't be popping up unannounced. So that would have been the first thing that would have pissed me off. Secondly, they hella knocking. Like they hella knocking like it's an emergency. So she opens up the door, and it is like every tenant in her complex, right? She's like the manager, and every tenant in her apartment complex is standing at her door all at once. You got the ghetto bird and her son. You got the man with the pretend dog, but he really has a dog. You know what I'm saying? And you got all the other little naysayers in the background, right? And they're complaining because there's no water in the building. And they just kind of push and shove their way through, right? First of all, I would have been like, talking about some low-key losing it, I would have been low-key pissed. I'd have been low-key pissed. Don't be coming up in my house and you ain't been invited. I don't care who I am. I don't care if I'm the manager or not. You're not coming up in here. But I do understand their frustration, because if that was me, I'd probably be upset too if we didn't have any water. And she kind of like threw that in there like, oh yeah, you know, that was today. You know what I'm saying? Her neighbor went and turned the water on, and it was like not even a drip. That thing was dry as a whistle. You know, and she kind of scratched her head and was like, yeah, that was today, right? Like she like kind of low-key forgot to pay the bill or forgot to call the plumber or something, right? So the water was turned off. But yeah, that situation would have went all bad if it was me. All bad. My favorite part of that whole episode, or I should say that whole little scene of this episode, was Dante. I think that's what his name was. He's one of the tenants, and he was talking about how he uses his apartment as an Airbnb. It's like people are always looking for a way to come up, right? Like, how you gonna rent your spot that you rent as an Airbnb out to some other people? Like, that's so ghetto, but damn, everybody gotta hustle these days. And then the little boy, man, that little boy is a little beyond himself, right? Like, he is a little above his time. Shoot, he be coming back with some cracks, right? I don't know. I think like the average black mama would probably slap him in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't have been talking like that around my grandma. My grandma would punched him in his mouth. He would have been, you know, he would have had no teeth because she would have knocked them on the ground. But yeah, man, that episode, that part of the episode was hilarious. So yeah, guys, so it moves on to Molly, right? And Molly's sitting there. She's got these big, huge rollers in her hair, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's kind of funny how she pulls them out and she ain't got a curl nowhere. That stuff was like bone straight. It was like straighter than it probably was before she put the rollers in. And she like snatches them out her hair because she's expecting her boyfriend Andrew to show up. And she does one thing that screws me up through this whole scene. She does one thing that screws me up. You guys tell me if I'm lying. She does this. She sniffs her freaking underarm, okay? And then it jumps to her opening the door and Andrew's standing there, you know what I'm saying? And she wraps her arms around him. And the only thing I could think of in my head was, do he smell her underarms? Because they never did show us where she touched up or something. Like, you know, he did mention, like, what took you so long? But dang, they could have at least, like, showed us her in the bathroom, you know, running to the bathroom, grabbing the door handle to the bathroom, like, in the bathroom, anything in between that scene. They could have showed us something that gave us a little hint that she touched up them underarms, because through that whole scene, from her at the door with him, wrapping her arms around him, to him wrapping his arms around her from behind, all I kept thinking was, he's sniffing right here, smelling that underarm, okay? Then get all up in the bed, you know what I'm saying? No. That messed me up through the whole scene. I couldn't think about nothing else that was going on but that underarm. Like, I kept thinking the whole time she is running around him and around his nose, and he just getting little hints of onion. Little sniffs of funky. You know what I'm saying? Funky. Well, yeah, man. Whew. Some people been there before. It ain't nice. Whew. And then you see them slide back up into the bed, you know what I'm saying? And I keep seeing her arms lifting up like this, and I'm just thinking, ooh, I know he smell it. Like, have you been there before? You know, you hanging out with somebody and, you know what I'm saying, you get a little, you know what I mean? It just changes your whole perception of them. Like, I don't know how he gonna feel after this, you know what I'm saying? If she don't touch that underarm up, I don't know how he gonna continue to feel about her. But yeah, Molly gotta get her shit together, because she is too wrapped up in her work, right? She is too wrapped up in her work life, and you know what I'm saying? And one thing is, you know what I'm saying, if you set a date with your man or men, if you set a date with your woman, let it be about that date. You know what I'm saying? You don't sit there on your phone. You know what I'm saying? We got that bad, don't we? We get on our phones and we get all involved in our phones and what's going on with other stuff, and we're not paying attention to our mate. You know what I'm saying? Molly, she's so involved in her work. She invites her dude over there and she's not giving him the time. He goes to bed on her because she needed the opportunity to go finish the little project that she was doing. If she wasn't available to him, that's an issue in their relationship, she should have said, you know what, I can't today. I got this project I'm working on, but I promise you I'll make it up to you. But she didn't do that. She let him come over and she had to finish up that project. And the next time she looked at her freaking watch, it was 1 something in the morning. I would have been pissed. Like, I don't think I would have stayed. And honestly, if he wasn't her dude, he would have deuced her. He would have been deuced her. You know what I'm saying? But he stayed. Being the man that he is, he stayed. And at 1 something in the morning, she still got that funky underarm, and she gonna crawl up over him, start kissing on him and stuff. And she pulls back the cover, and he ready to go. He butt naked under the sheets, right? He butt naked up underneath them covers, and he ready to go. You know what I'm saying? He ready for her to throw that thing back. You know what I'm saying? But she really need to get it together. She really need to get it together, or she's going to end up losing her relationship because she is a workaholic. So yeah. Hey, it's my jam. But yeah, so how many of you guys think that Condola is ghosting Issa? Right, we get to the next scene, and basically she's trying to get a hold of Condola because she has things in her project that needs to get done, and she cannot get a hold of her. She's basically ghosting her. And you know, maybe it's because of the argument her and Lawrence had last episode, you know what I'm saying, where basically she accused him of, you know, basically still having a little thing for Issa. Basically, you know, throwing it out there that she's a little insecure about his relationship, his bond with Issa. And so perhaps that's the reason why she's kind of been ghosting her. She don't feel 100% comfortable around her like she did before. You know, last episode, they was tight and thick as thieves, right? They were working together, giving each other them girl compliments and stuff. Hey, girl, yes, you know, pounding and stuff, having their little jokes about Lawrence and stuff. But here in this episode, we see that Issa's being ghosted by Condola. You know what I'm saying? And I can only imagine. I can only imagine what's getting ready to come down the pipe. Now, another one of the scenes that I thought was quite interesting was the scene where Issa and Molly are going to the baby shower. They're on their way there, and they get to the parking. It's like there's little parts in this episode that really testing their friendship, right? Their friendship is already kind of on the rocks. And like I said, I think it's going to be when they have that block party that all hell's gonna break loose, especially with them. But here in this episode, we see them having little sparks between them, right? Little comments that they keep making, and you know, little outbursts that they keep saying. And here in this scene where they're in the parking and they're like backing into it, you know, I think from what my eyes see, I think Issa had that shit first. I think Issa had that parking space first. But being who she is, trying to be a friend, she goes ahead and let Molly have the space. She says she gonna go ahead and circle the block. You know what I'm saying? But it was after that, you know what I'm saying, Issa decides, you know, she gonna have a little jokey joke with Molly and saying, you know, what you gonna do to pay me back for letting you have that parking space. And Molly, you know, she flashed back with how am I gonna pay you back for something that was already mine? You know what I'm saying? Like she testing Issa's petty, because you know Issa can be petty, and she is truly testing her petty. Because I would have been like, first of all, I wouldn't have even gave her the parking space. Half of my rear end was in the spot. So sister girl, you not getting this spot. You gonna have to circle around the block, okay? I wasn't gonna give it to her. I wouldn't have gave it to her. I would have been petty to the max. Petty Betty. That's me. But yeah, so Lord, we get into this baby shower situation, right? This baby shower stuff. So we get to that baby shower, and it switches over to Lawrence talking with Derek, and you know what I'm saying, they're having a heart-to-heart conversation about this baby, right? And Derek comes to the understanding that, damn, I really been effed up towards women. Like, I really been a jerk towards women, and I got a daughter. And he starts reflecting, right? He starts thinking like, wow, like, all the things that I used to do to women was somebody's daughter. And somebody's daughter is somebody's daughter. And I got a daughter. And he thinking about all the things that these little boys is going to be doing to his daughter. And I about fell out my chair when he said some little boy, teenage little boy, is going to be fingered his daughter one day. Wow. Wow. But come on, man. You can relate, right? The fellas that's watching this right now, you can relate, because I've met guys who have daughters, and the first thing they do is think, I know what guys are like because I'm a guy, and I'm being punished for all the things that I did to women because I have a daughter now. Like, they sit there and they really be thinking like it's like taboo or something. Like, I got a daughter, and she about to put me through all the things I put fathers through with their daughters. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? And it's kind of funny how he's leaning on Lawrence, right, for a pep talk. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, Lawrence he's doing okay, giving him a pep talk, talking about how great of a man he is and strong and how he can plan and all this other stuff. And basically Derek's like, no, man, me and Tiffany, we really didn't plan to have this kid. Like, why do people do that? Like, why do people say it was not planned? You know what I'm saying? If you're in a relationship and you screwing, you know what I'm saying? You out there doing your thing as a couple, anything could happen. Nothing is 100%. You know what I'm saying? There is no contraceptive out there 100% other than abstinence. So if you out there doing your thing, anything could happen. So yeah, it might have not been something that you laid down and said, we're going to make this baby today. No, but just the simple fact that you're out there doing it, anything could happen. So, you know what I'm saying? You cannot be disappointed because your plans are ruined. You know what I'm saying? You had a 2-year goal that 2 years from now, we're going to have kids. But for now, we're going to travel. And boom, here comes this baby. And you feel so set aside because you feel like all your plans have been ruined because you have a kid now. But the thing is, you should have already had that in the back of your mind that this is what could happen if we do this, because we are having sex and anything is possible, right? It just gets under my skin when people say stuff like that, because, you know what I'm saying, sometimes it ruins the relationships between a parent and their kid because they have some type of animosity against their child because they feel like the birth of their child hindered them from being where they want to be, or how far they could have been, or set them aside from the dreams they could have had. You know what I'm saying? So they just become very bitter. So I hate seeing stuff like that, but thank God, you know, they're excited about this baby, and I think this baby is going to bring some love to their relationship. So I'm excited for him and Tiffany, and the baby do look like Kelly. And speaking of Kelly, I love how real she is. You know what I'm saying? You can depend on Kelly telling it like it is. Every episode we watched her in from the beginning of time till now, she has not changed. Her character has not changed. She has been real. What you see is what you get. Wait for it, because what might come off her mouth, what might come out of her tongue, you might not be ready for it. I love her. It's like everybody needs a friend like her. Everybody needs somebody like her, because she would have me dying laughing. I would be like, oh, I constantly be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Because every time she says something, it's just freaking hilarious. I love how she freaking tells Tiffany, yeah, you nasty. Yeah, you nasty. She talking about she ain't showered in 3 days. Yeah, you nasty. You real nasty. But it's so true, you know what I'm saying, that they dropped the facts in this episode when it comes to women having childbirth. You know what I'm saying? Women having children and going through childbirth and almost dying. It's been so many situations where it's suspect. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know these days. And I think it's kind of strange that back in the day, women were having babies without any medication. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have epidurals and all of that kind of stuff back in the day. When I was born, my mom had me natural. Had my brother natural. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until, over the last few maybe decades where they started using medication to numb you so you can have a child. But people are having after effects. You know what I'm saying? They're having effects to their body, and even in one situation, my coworker said that the medication caused his wife to have a stroke. What's going on these days that women are almost dying on the table just trying to give birth? I think that's crazy. I just think that is so crazy. Maybe we need to go back to having natural childbirth. I don't know about that. Not for me, for y'all, because I'm done. I had one. I'm over it. But yeah, it's definitely suspect about what's going on nowadays. They mentioned Serena Williams, and there are plenty more who had complications during childbirth. And I just think that that's super crazy. We definitely need to do better. So then Molly starts talking about how her precious Andrew is there for her and he's so understanding, and when you're in a relationship, that's what it's about. And Issa kind of gives her that look like, B, you lying. I know you lying. You know what I'm saying? She gives her that look like, yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? And she makes a little comment that Molly didn't like. And, then again, they're having their little tit for tat back and forth. And Issa's just like, I was joking. It was just a joke. And, they go kind of off into their own thing. And, excuse me, you got Issa and Tiffany talking, and then you have Kelly and you have Kelly and Issa talking, and then you have Molly and Tiffany talking, and they're both asking them questions like, did it seem kind of weird? Did things seem kind of off between, Issa, or off between Molly? Do you guys see it? And both of them are like, no, no. Like they really gave that no quick, like they ain't in it. My name is Bennett. I ain't in it. You know what I'm saying? And that just was funny to me. But we'll see how this all plays out. We'll see how this situation with Molly and Issa plays out. This is like a huge part of this series, right? Their friendship and what's gonna happen with their friendship, and they just keep dragging it. And I just wish they hurry up and get to the point. Just hurry up and get to it, right? But Issa makes that joke about Molly being Jada and having her red table talk. And Kelly comes out and says, I'm Willow. I loved it. I about fell out. It's so funny because as serious as the table talk is, at the same time it's comedy. It's comical. Like their personalities, everybody's individual personalities around the red table, and it's just funny, and it's become a huge, joke in the social world, the social media world, right? You see all these memes and jokes about it and stuff like that. So I just thought that was funny how they added that joke in this episode. And then another part of this episode, in the part of this episode that cracked me up during the baby shower, is freaking Kelly said, Kelly just being ultra petty and ultra messy, right? She goes, ooh, look at Lawrence over there looking like a provider. Knowing damn well that was going to strike a match in Issa. You know what I'm saying? Because he was never a provider during the relationship when they was in a relationship, right? And and Kelly going to be like, look at him over there looking like a provider. And next thing you know it, Issa looks, her and Lawrence lock eyes, and the sparks, right? That's all you see is the sparks go off, right? And Lawrence, all he had to do was give her the face, you know, give her those eyes, and and she's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they go outside and they meet up. And then, you know, they're standing outside, they're having their little conversation. And just by that impression of them, you know, doing the little cutesy faces, you think that they're going to go out there and they're going to like have sparks. Everything is just going to be like, ooh, 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 ha. And then they get outside and Lawrence, she's telling Lawrence how she's stressed out because everything about the block party just going bad. How she's been trying to get a hold of Condola, but basically Condola's been ghosting her. And Lawrence kind of interrupts her and he's like, yeah, about that, right? Now, when he did that, in my mind, I was thinking, oh shit, him and Condola, they like, no more, right? They off, right? They done broke up. You know what I'm saying? He about to let her know, hey, I'm available again. The provider is available again, but you know, they get interrupted by Issa's phone ringing, and you know, she's on the phone and she's getting this message from one of the guys, that's one of the acts that's gonna tell her he cannot perform or whatever the case is. So she's all pissed off, and what he had to tell her, he held back and did not tell her, and was like, "Oh, it can wait for another time." And I just wonder what he was gonna say. Like, I think low-key, he was gonna be like, you know, it'd probably be best if, you know, you and Condola don't work together. You know what I'm saying? You and Condola kind of stay your distance from each other, or me and you need to put distance in between each other because it's ruining my relationship with Condola. She's starting to be she's starting to think things are suspect or whatever the case. But yet again, they're going to drag that shit out to the next episode and we're not going to see what's going to happen. So I guess we got to wait till episode 5. Hopefully episode 5 is the block party. Because like I said, guys, all hell's going to break loose. All shit's going to hit the fan. I already know. I already see it. Mark my words, guys. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section what's going to happen. So yeah, so Issa, she got to go, right? She got to deuce herself out. You know what I'm saying? Lawrence, he peaced out. You know what I'm saying? And Molly thinks that they're going to go hook up or whatever. She being ultra messy. But really, Issa just needed to leave. You know what I'm saying? And she gets home. You know what I'm saying? She got her NWA shirt on. And I'm just like... Who the best? It's you. Who gonna kill lazy? So she's having this talk with herself, right, in the mirror, and I just love it when she do that. I love it when she's having that heart to heart with herself, right, and she talking to herself, and you know, she just being ultra funny. She being ultra funny. She like, you know, she definitely is NWA. Like, she got an attitude. And she like telling herself like, you know, I got problems too. And herself telling herself, you do? And she's like, yeah, I do. And she's like what? And she's like real life shit. And she's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And then the part that had me crying almost was she was like, she looked up on herself and she was like, oh, like she like jumped back from herself. That part was grand. That part was grand. That mess had me crying. So I hope for Molly's sake that, you know, everything works out for her with this block party stuff, because Molly did her wrong, right? She came to Molly for like that whole friend support type of thing. Like, can you ask your dude Andrew to hook me up? Like, I really need him because my headliner dropped out at the last minute and everything's falling apart and I really need you. And Molly pretty much put like pie in her face, right? She was packed. You know what I'm saying? She put the pie in her damn face and was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I didn't talk to him. I'm not gonna talk to him because my relationship and, you know, my friends, like, that's separate life. All of a sudden, she's like, that's separate, you know. After Andrew had that conversation with her, he had that heart-to-heart conversation with her to let her know where he stands and where he feels like the relationship is. All of a sudden, Molly trying to get that shit together. She like, like, I don't know what you got going on, Issa, but us over here, we're going to be doing this, and it ain't going to be this whole triangle thing where, you know, my friendship is going to be interrupting what we got going on over here. I'm going to be focused on just my man. I don't blame her. I don't blame her. Not one bit. But we'll see, honey. We'll see what's going to happen. But yeah, so I think that that really broke Issa's spirit, you know what I'm saying? When Molly pretty much told her that she couldn't help her and that she was all gonna be about her relationship, and I think that really broke Issa, you know what I'm saying? She just was sick as a puppy after that, you know what I'm saying? And she didn't even want to talk to herself, you know what I'm saying? She couldn't even give herself a pep talk in the mirror. She just wasn't having it. You know what I'm saying? She didn't want to get in the shower and call and wrap it up. She wanted to wrap up the night. So, yeah, so we'll see what's going to happen, guys. We'll see how all this is going to unfold in the next episode. I really believe that this show is going to seriously progress. You know what I'm saying? In the next episode, episode 5, I definitely see it happening, guys. I pray that it happens because I'm ready for some serious drama. I want some drama to pop up, some real drama to pop up. So thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys thought about the review. Tell me what you guys discovered while you guys were watching it. If I left any parts out that you guys think was important, comment down in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.